Hey everyone, this is John Jonas, and I am here with Andrew, and we are going to talk about Andrew's experience in outsourcing so far. Kind of do a little case study with him. So, welcome, Andrew.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So, Andrew and I have just been talking about the whole outsourcing thing, and he has a VA in the Philippines and has been through a couple, and wanted to talk to him about your experience in doing this. So, first of all, how did you find this girl? How did you get started with the one that you currently have?
The one I currently have, I actually found her through a VA firm. So it was a firm that was based in the U.S. They had operations set up in the Philippines, and I didn't know a whole lot about outsourcing. And to be honest, I was a little bit timid about just hiring someone directly, and so ended up going through this agency, getting someone on board, and ended up going through 2 or 3 different VAs until I found her. She ended up being a rock star, amazing VA, and I've been had her on board for about over 3 years now. So.
Sweet. So 3 years is a long time. That's really good.
It is. It's amazing. It's gone by quickly, and yeah, it's kind of surprising. Every time July rolls around, it's like, wow, really, another year? And yeah. So she's a great employee. Super trustworthy. Does a fantastic job for our business, and we get a lot of people. I run an e-commerce business, and so we get a lot of people who end up writing back on tickets like, "Sure, was fantastic," and all this kind of stuff. And so she does a really good job.
Sweet. So. That was my next question is, what do you do? What's your business, and what do you have her doing for you?
And so, I have an e-commerce business. I have a couple different of them, like trollingmotors.net is one if you want to go take a look. And so she deals with primarily a lot of the operational aspects of the business. So when orders come in, she makes sure they get placed with the right drop shipper. We do almost exclusively drop shipping of our orders. She'll do order management. She'll do email support. So people will write in, for any number of issues, order related issues, sales questions. So she'll answer sales questions for some of our e-commerce stores. And she does a good job. It's not just like, oh, hey, here's a product guide, go read this. We deal with some fairly complicated niches, and obviously it's not something where she was amazing day one, but over probably I'd say the course of maybe 3 or 4 months with the training that we gave her and the time we invested into her, she became an expert in some of these areas, and in some areas she knows as much as I do, and so it's impressive. So she can provide some really high quality support for customers. She does a lot of process-oriented things, so approving reviews. People leave e-commerce reviews. Some of them are great. There's value in all of them, and she never changes them, but a lot of times people, the formatting is just horrible, so she'll go in and clean that up. She'll go through and do a lot of transfers, paying off credit cards. We run a lot of stuff through credit cards just to rack up the miles, and those have to be paid off, every 2 or 3 days. And so she does a whole gamut of things for us.
Sweet. So I love a couple things that you're doing. Number one, she wasn't great in the beginning, and you trained her.
Well, she was great. She was not an expert in the field in the beginning. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Because a lot of people are looking to go hire someone who's an expert at that specific thing, and you hired someone who was super talented and turned her into an expert.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. There's a lot of stuff there that you talked about that she does that a lot of people kind of just don't know that it's possible, that they can get someone to do that, and that's really cool that she's managing customer support and talking with customers, and people comment on how great she is, and that's cool.
It is cool, yeah. She's a full-on team member, and that's what I call her, because she's an integral part of the company, and without her, I've got someone in the States that helps out with a lot of stuff. I've got obviously her in the Philippines, and a couple of weeks ago they were both out, and so normally I do a lot of growth stuff, a lot of kind of more business development aspects of the business, and they run the operations. And when they both left, oh my gosh, I was like, wow, it's been a long time since I've had to do all this, and you take for granted how much more you can get done, and also how much people do for you when you have them in a place, in a position where they can help out for a duration of time. And so, yeah, she does a ton of stuff. Frees me up to really focus on more important things.
What do you mean? What do you mean frees you up to focus on more important things? Like what?
Well, a lot of new business opportunities. Right now, over the last 6 months, really been trying to create an e-commerce community on my blog, ecommercefuel.com. And so, a lot of that has taken time that doing a lot of marketing, higher end marketing, and connecting with people that you can't outsource to somebody. So business development is one. Really strategic, kind of looking at a website and improvements. So we did a huge relaunch of one of our sites maybe back, back in November or so. Big relaunch, and it's not something you can outsource, because you can't say what's wrong with the business. I mean, sometimes you can, but a lot of times, that's my job. I'm the CEO of that, and so we completely revamped the website. It took a couple months, but resulted in a huge increase in conversion, probably a 50% bump up in conversion, and so a lot of business development and just core improvements to the business growth and marketing are the things that now I'm able to focus a lot more on.
I love that you're the CEO. It's so. Because again, that's a piece that a lot of people miss, where you're working on the business and then getting them to work in the business. Your VA and the girl in the U.S. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, my door is open and the alarm is just yelling at me if you were here.
That's
So
all
I
right.
have to go close my office door over here. I had something that I wanted to ask, and it has now totally skipped my mind. Let's talk about some of your management. How are you managing her? Do you have any tips that you can give to other people? Things that you have found that work well in keeping her productive, in making her happy, in making your business run well. Do you have any tips on that?
Sure. A lot of these are universal, but I think they particularly apply to, or especially apply to outsourcing. One I would say is just be appreciative. I try to, a lot of times I'll go a week or two without chatting directly with her. But my guy in the States, who deals with her more on a regular day-to-day basis, I think he's really good about trying to encourage her, let her know when she's doing a good job. If she's got some problems, softly correcting her, and definitely providing feedback, but doing it in a kind and gentle way. And I try to at least a couple times a month get on Skype with her at a very minimum and just ask her how she's doing, see how her life is going. And just say, thanks for being part of the business. And I think people grossly underestimate the value of appreciation in terms of employees. They've done studies where they'll say, given the choice of making X amount more or just feeling really valued and appreciated at your job, most people would, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's something not catastrophic, but something surprisingly high. Like, people would rather being appreciated at their job is worth, $15,000 a year or $20,000 a year or something like that. And I think it's true. People work better when they feel appreciated. You're going to have them longer. You're not going to, turnover is a huge problem. It's expensive to train people and replace them. And so if you can take care of your employees and let them know they're appreciated and valued, you're going to have less turnover, which is going to make your business more profitable in the long run and more stable. And also, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm listening. This is fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, so that's really important. And then also, backing that up with, monetary bonuses at some points too. So it's something where, I think you've got to be strategic in how you do it. But if you value somebody and they continually do a good job for you, make sure you reward them financially for that, And it's something where you can't do it once and then forget about it for 10 years. But you also don't need to do it. You don't have to do it every week. But just make sure you're consistently rewarding people and noticing the good work they do. When you do see them, do something well, let them know and comment. And when you see them a track record or a consistent pattern of doing well over, extended period of time, give them some extra bonus for that and some extra compensation for that. They really appreciate it, and it's the right thing to do, and it's a great investment.
My experience with the Philippines is this is twice as important.
Yeah.
As it is in the U.S. It's this is probably the biggest thing you can do to make this successful is provide positive feedback. Make them feel appreciated, like they're doing a good job. It is such a big deal. That's such a great piece of advice.
And I'd say one more thing, John. The Philippines, I don't know how it's characterized, if it's a second country or third, or how that's set up, but there's stuff that goes on over there. Probably maybe once or twice a month, we'll get an email from our VA on her phone saying, I'm so sorry, there's a monsoon here or something, and the power has gone off, and I don't have access to internet. I'm trying my best to do it on my phone, but I just want to let you know I'm going to be slower responding to tickets, and I'm very, very sorry about this, And when that happens, you got to be understanding. If you get on there and you say, "What? how this is unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable. Did you not know a monsoon was coming? Why didn't you go somewhere else in the country? That's a dick move. You don't do that. And so we really try to be accommodating and understanding when those things come up. And if she needs time off, really just trying to be flexible with her and with her schedule. And it's just kind of common sense business stuff. And so I think trying to be really being someone that she can come to with problems without biting her head off or getting upset, I think goes a long way in building trust, and rapport for a great long-term relationship.
Here's the thing. What you just said is it's not common sense with a lot of people. Because I've seen enough of this to know that there are a lot of people that are biting their heads off.
Yeah.
What you just said is such good advice. And again, especially with the Philippines, where life is hard there. Life is hard. If you can just be understanding for what they're doing and the hard things that they're going through in life, you're going to have a better experience. And obviously you're doing that, and that's a huge part of why you're succeeding with it. That was so funny because I've seen those things. What? Why aren't you here? You're fired! I saw it this week. I had a Filipino email me telling me that they had this happen to them with a boss this week, and it was like...
What was it? Was it like a monsoon thing, internet outage, something like that?
No, it was that they had some specific stuff that they had to get done today, and so they weren't online during these specific hours or something, and the boss said, "You're fired." Yeah. How is that reasonable? You just lost a potentially really good employee because you weren't the tiniest bit flexible.
Yeah, and there's a line. We were kind of talking about this earlier. If you see a consistent pattern of people slacking off and not hitting, achievable, reasonable deadlines, or just not doing what you've very specifically laid out, these are your responsibilities. You need to have a chat with them. You need to sit them down and say, listen, here's the deal. Here's what I expect. Here's the time you're allocated. I think it's reasonable. If it's not, come talk to me. And if this doesn't happen, then we have a problem. We need to deal with that. But I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, when you're hiring people, this goes for, again, a lot of these are just universal truths. A lot of times when we get upset with an employee or VA or whoever it is, a lot of the time it's because we were not clear up front with expectations and with how we wanted something done, and in making sure that we gave, so not clear with expectations and also forgetting what the other person is doing, and so being super clear and spending that extra, half an hour or hour up front, really getting your expectations set properly from the get-go, that's hugely important for managing people. And a lot of times when stuff breaks down, it's not the employee's fault, it's your fault for not managing it properly and communicating well.
That is a really, really great approach to that's universal, but it's a great approach to take with this, where if you assume this is my fault first, instead of saying, "Oh, you suck," if you assume it's your fault first, you're just going to have a better experience, and they will do better work for you.
Because what's the easy thing to do, right? The easy thing to do is say, because we all have something in our mind how we want it to look, right? And the easy thing to do is just say, "I want you to go do this. Get back to me by Wednesday, and make sure it's good." And it's easy to hand something off and just hope that through osmosis on Skype that it kind of goes into their brain and they know exactly what you want them to do. But that's not how it works. And so coming to terms with that and just doing work up front is hugely valuable in terms of communicating well.
This has been fantastic. I don't want to take any more of your time. Is there anything else specific advice that you want to give to people that you have found in working with Filipinos that you can help with?
In general advice, I would just say, it's a big step going from no VA to having a VA, or making that transition from doing everything yourself to starting to to delegate and hand things off. And so do it in small pieces. Don't jump in and the week before you're going to go on a 2-week cruise in the Caribbean, hire a VA and expect stuff to go smoothly while you're gone. You're gonna crater your business if you do that. And so that being said, get started. Get started. It's cheap to do. If you do it smartly, it's something that can actually have a really great positive long-term return for your business. It grows you as a leader of the business, being able to outsource, and it's going to grow your business as well. So dive in, communicate well, treat your employees well, be understanding, and make sure you train and invest in them, because what you put into them is what you're going to get out in the long run for the value of your business.
Interestingly enough, I've probably done 20 of these video case studies, and you just said almost word for word what probably half of the people said, because it's true. And I love that you're doing it, I love that you're succeeding with it, and it's working for you, and thank you so much, Andrew. This has been fantastic. We'll talk to you later.
Hey, thanks, John. Appreciate it. Good chatting.
Bye.